Welcome to Cinemanista. This is Cinemanista chats about a classic. The classic I'm going to chat about today is the classic 1997 Titanic. Titanic is an epic romance directed by James Cameron, starring Leonardo DiCaprio as Jack Dawson and Kate Winslet as Rufus Sewell. Titanic tells the story of two ill-fated lovers upon the doomed 1912 Titanic. Titanic is highly regarded as one of the most romantic and popular movies of all time. As of 2010, it was the most expensive movie ever made, as well as the highest grossing film of all time before it was surpassed by Cameron's other popular film, Avatar. Titanic, in my eyes, is just one of the most beautifully acted, beautifully written, beautifully in every aspect of filmmaking made movies. I just think it really, truly is one of the most perfect films I've ever seen, and it definitely is one of the most romantic, the most romantic movie ever. It definitely tops the number spot in my most romantic movies list. Titanic is about two star-crossed lovers, a la Romeo and Juliet, who meet on Titanic, and Jack, he's a third-class passenger who wins his ticket to Titanic in a poker game, and Rose is a first-class passenger who actually is engaged to be married to a wealthy still heir, Cal, played wonderfully by Billy Zane. The two don't meet under the best circumstances. Rose actually is feeling suffocated in this unhappy engagement to Cal, and she is so unhappy she contemplates suicide and is actually about to jump off of Titanic when fate steps in and Jack saves her, stops her from jumping. And right when Jack meets Rose, it's love at first sight for him. It takes Rose a little more time for her to fall for Jack, but she quickly sees that Jack is a much better catch than Cal, and Cal is maybe rich, but he's wrong for her. He's obnoxious, he's sexist, he's materialistic, he's everything that Jack isn't, and Jack is more of a free spirit. He's kinder, he has a sweeter soul, and eventually Rose falls in love with Jack, and she makes a decision, Jack or Cal, and she picks Jack. But she may pick him, but like any good romance, it's doomed, unfortunately, and the two only spend their time together upon Titanic, as when the ship sinks, Jack sacrifices himself for Rose to survive. And one of the most well-known scenes of Titanic, and one of the saddest scenes, is when the two, Jack and Rose, they're in the water after Titanic has sunk, and they're in the freezing water, and Jack finds a piece of wood floating by, and he gives that piece of safety to Rose so she can stay afloat, and he stays in the freezing cold water, and unfortunately he dies from that. And the scene is really heartbreaking, and it's a tearjerker moment. But it's also really beautiful, and this is probably one of the most, as sad as it is, one of the most romantic scenes of Titanic. And right before he dies, he tells Rose that she's gonna go on to live a full life. She's gonna be an old lady. She's gonna die an old lady in her bed. And he tells her that the classic line that he'll never let go, and she says, "I'll never let go." And of course, they both have to let go when he drifts into the sea and dies. Very touching scene, and it just shows the depth of Jack's character, that he was willing to sacrifice his life to save her, and if that's not love. So just that scene in itself makes Titanic just so that it gives it that great grand romantic element to the film. Another classic scene in Titanic is a more upbeat scene, and this is the King of the World scene, where Jack is so jubilant about being on Titanic. He goes to the bow of the ship with his friend, and he's just in high spirits, and he screams out the classic line that he's the king of the world, and that's definitely one of the most well-known scenes of Titanic. Something else popular that made Titanic really popular is the music, and I think Titanic probably has the theme song is one of the most well-known theme songs in movie history, probably. Everyone pretty much knows that. Celine Dion's beautiful song, My Heart Will Go On, is belongs in comes from Titanic, and it's definitely a classic fitting song for a classic movie like Titanic. Rose and Jack were just played so wonderfully and beautifully by DiCaprio and Winslet, but they almost didn't get to play Rose and Jack. Matthew McConaughey actually was up for the part of Jack, and Gwyneth Paltrow up for the part as Rose, and thankfully DiCaprio and Winslet were chosen in the end, because I can't see anyone but DiCaprio and Winslet playing Jack and Rose. They will always be the perfect Jack and Rose in my eyes, and I don't think any other actor and actress could play them so great. Titanic definitely is a classic film, and definitely, if you haven't seen it, and I think almost everyone has, you have your chance to see it in theaters this month, April. It's being re-released for the 100th anniversary of Titanic setting sail in April in 1912. So definitely go to theaters and see this if you never saw Titanic, and if you're a fan, I would definitely check this out again. And the cool thing is it's going to be in 3D, and it should be really amazing to see that the sinking scenes come to life literally in front of your eyes with 3D. So I'm really anticipating the 3D aspect for those scenes. So Titanic, definitely a classic movie. It's just wonderful in every aspect, and it's a beautiful movie, and definitely if you see this, definitely I know you will love it. This is Cinemanista. Cinemanista chats about a classic, talking about Titanic. Thank you.